welcome back to my channel. I'm Victoria, and if you're new here, you should definitely subscribe and hit that little bell icon to get notified every single time I post a brand new video. So in today's video, we are going to be talking about my labor and delivery story time, how it went down, and everything I went through. Some good stuff. So if you're interested, keep on watching. So we're gonna start off the day before my water broke because there was some signs. The day before my water broke is August 20th. We went over to Alex's mom's house because we were in the middle of a move, and we went over there to do some last minute shopping for our new place. And we both kind of hesitated to go because when we go, we usually sleep over because they live in Charlotte, so it's an hour away. We were kind of hesitant because we were like, she might be coming soon. It was a week before my due date, so yeah, keep that in mind. So we went over and we were at the dinner table and we were eating, and the time was 7:03. I started feeling like really bad and sick. I went to the bathroom, and baby girl, which her name is Kaeli, by the way, not Kaylee, it's Kaeli in English, Kaeli, but I'm gonna call her baby girl though, because at this time she did not have a name picked out yet because we did not decide on her name until she was born. But baby girl shifted so hard. I'm gonna insert a picture of Ellie looked like when she shifted. It was just very out there, and I was having contractions, but they weren't at all close. It was like here and there, and my stomach hurt so bad. It felt so tight, so stretched out. I was like, she is ready to come, but we were still a week away from my due date, so I did not think she was gonna come that close. I'm like, yes, these are signs of labor, but I didn't think she would come so soon. So yeah, I told Alex, I was like, hey, don't tell your mom, but I'm feeling this way. And we both looked at each other and we were like, should we stay, should we not? But you know what, we were like, no, it's probably just a false alarm, she's probably not coming yet, it's too early. So we ignored it. That night I woke up at like 5, I think, and when I woke up at 5, I went to use the bathroom like I always do, and I passed my mucus plug. Now I know I passed my mucus plug. I had only a little bit. It was like enough, not, yeah, it was like enough to know it was mucus, but like compared to what girls say a mucus plug is, it didn't seem like that much to me. So I'm just like, okay, this is another sign, you know, my body is starting to get ready for labor, but again, didn't think so soon. And I went back to bed all fine. I wasn't feeling too bad. The next morning, now we are August 21st. I wake up, it's 10 a.m. and I'm laying down, everything's good. And then finally, Alex helps me to get up. And the second I step foot, I was going to the bathroom. The second I start walking, just not a huge gush, but a slight gush of water like trickle down. It's almost like I peed myself, but obviously I wasn't peeing myself. And I just looked down, I was like, I think my water just broke. I had never actually pictured myself like with my water breaking. Like I never thought of what it would be like, but it was just so casual. It was just like, oh, it broke, it's time. We both looked at each other. Me and Alex were looking at each other like, oh my gosh, she's coming. So we were in Charlotte at the time. I woke up, I was like, okay, I'm hopping in the shower, and then we are off. So I just took a quick little shower and we headed out, and it was crazy. Like, I mean, it's not crazy, but when my water broke, I was like, oh my gosh, she's actually coming. So yeah, that was at like, I woke up at 10, got out the shower. We got to the hospital at around 11, I would say 11:10, because I took this picture at 11:21. This was us going into the triage room. So we got to the hospital and checked in, and then, you know, I told them, my water just broke, and they're like, all right. They sent me, and by the way, I called ahead so they knew I was coming. So yeah, And then they took me into a room and they set me up with 2 monitors. It was a blue and a pink one. One checks my heart, or no, one checks the contractions and one checks baby's heartbeat. Yeah, so I got to hear her heartbeat the whole time. And basically what they did in there is they checked if my water actually broke, and then I had to get the COVID test done. That was so terrible. People say it's nothing, but it felt like they stabbed my brain back there. They did this nostril, didn't work. They did this one and it made my eyes water really, really bad, and it hurt so bad. But it's all good. Came back negative, gracias a Dios. And yeah, so when they set up the monitors, it was like 12:14 p.m. and then they got my test results back. At my hospital, both people had to wear masks. Once I got my test results back negative, then I got to take my mask off. But after they confirmed that my water had broke, by the way they checked it is that they took a little swab down there and for the liquids, and then, you know, they confirmed like, okay, yeah, your water actually broke, let's take you into the delivery room. So they took me into the delivery room and they hooked me up with an IV, and I don't know if it's called oxytocin, I don't know what it's called, but the thing they give you to induce your contractions, your labor. I had dreaded that, but also I guess it technically wasn't that bad, but I had always heard about girls getting that, and I was like, please don't let me get that, and I had to get it. By the way, your girl did not use an epidural. Not that it's bad if you do, but I really did not want to use it and I didn't. So yeah, the nurse who did it was really, really nice, but she hurt me really, really bad. She did one vein first, it didn't work out, that hurt like crap. Then they did the other one, and the other side bruised really, really bad. I will insert a picture here. It wasn't bruised up yet here, but yeah, that's everything I had on my arm. It was honestly uncomfortable. I was like, man, how am I gonna like move stuff? Like when stuff gets real, how am I going to move? But you get used to it after a while. Honestly, when you're in labor, you don't even think about it. They hooked me up with all that, and here's a picture of the room. I was in the room by 1:18. I was already hooked up with everything, so the process was pretty fast. Here's how things went down. So after basically they checked me in, right? Basically it was just a waiting game now of dilation. Basically, yeah, whenever they hooked me up to the IV and everything, they started pumping me with oxytocin, and they were doing like a lot of it, and I wasn't contracting, I guess. Like I would get contractions, but they weren't hurting that bad. They kept asking me like, how's the pain, and honestly I was downplaying it. Like it was, because like I said, I didn't want to use the epidural, so I knew the pain was gonna get bad, but you know, it's gonna hurt. Like don't complain, you know, it's gonna hurt. So whenever I was like at a 8, I would call it like a 4. I would always downplay it. So they're like, how are your contractions, like, you know? And I was like, I'm good. Like I'm like at a 4. I'm like it hurts, but I know it's just gonna get worse, so I'm doing okay. So it was one last picture I showed you. From 1 till 6 I was pretty much chilling. At 6, when they checked my cervix, I was only 1 to 2 dilated. I was like, oh my gosh, I've been here since 11 and I've only dilated to maybe 2, and this was at 6. So then I was like, okay, by the way, when they had the blue and pink monitors on me, you couldn't walk around and stuff. So then I told them like, hey, can I get anything else so I can walk around? So then they put some wireless monitors on me. This was at 6:24, and they used sandpaper. Whenever they put those monitors on you, they use sandpaper to basically rough up your skin so it'll stick. That left some mark on me. It went away already, but yeah, it kind of hurt. So it is 7:23 right now, and I just got checked again. Everything's looking okay, it's doing good, and yeah, we just chilling. I'm having contractions and they hurt. I'm saying this so that way I remember, like, they hurt a lot, but I know they're gonna get worse. So if I think it's a 10 now, I'm gonna call it a 5. So yeah. So like my pains right now, on a normal scale, usually I'd be like it's an 8, but it's like a 3. You feel me? So yeah, that's how we're doing right now. I'm so excited. Okay, so they came in the room at like, I guess like around 9, and they're like, how is your pain? And like I said, I didn't want the epidural, so I knew I was gonna have really bad pain, but I would downplay everything because I knew it was only gonna get worse. So, but I will say, like, my real pain was like at a 7, so I would tell them like 3. It's like at a 3. So then they're like, okay, it's been a while, she's only dilated 2, maybe her water only half broke. And like I said, I was getting contractions, but they were kind of like easy. They're like I could pass through them like that. So then they get the doctor in and she checks my cervix. By the way, when they check your cervix, ugh, no, I don't like it. She realizes, she's like, yeah, her water only half broke. My water only half broke. I was like, this would be me. So they broke it for me, and yeah, they broke it for me. When they broke my water, that was like, if I was standing up, that was in the movies where the gush of water comes out, and I felt her just go like that. That is when the real pain started. They had me lay down and moved to like the side. They had me in such an uncomfortable position. The position hurt more than the contractions. So I was like, I need to move. But yeah, that was like at 9 o'clock, because the last video you guys saw was taken at 8:32 and then the next picture after that is Kylie. So yeah, that's when the pain started, because nothing else was being thought of. At 9 is when they broke my water. That's when my real contractions started hitting. Those contractions, that pain, I will say the pain is terrible, but it's not unbearable. Like, it's basically what I had to tell myself, because from the beginning I didn't want the epidural, but I knew at some point I was gonna break. I knew for a fact I was probably gonna break and be like, you know what, I'm tired, I just need it. But basically I just kept telling myself, and if you want me to make a video on how to like not get it, like your mentality, what it needs to be, I will do one. I'm not the best person for it, but all I told myself was like, I'm not gonna suffer any pain that my body can't handle. So everything I'm going through, my body can handle it, because you'll psych yourself out, you know? In the beginning, by the way, Alex went to go pick up the hospital bag. When they were putting the IVs in me, I started freaking out because like I was alone, and I was like, oh my gosh, like, you know how like I got bruised, it hurt. I was like, oh my gosh, that hurt, and the pain's just gonna get worse, like, oh my gosh. And I started freaking out, and I was like, calm down, Victoria, calm down, this is nothing, this happens all the time, bruising happens all the time, like, calm down. So yeah, I think at 10 they checked me and I was at 5 centimeters, so in an hour, that quick. They give you an option of all they call it is IV. I don't know what medicine it is, but they just pump it through here. I told her, what are my options? She's like, epidural, or you can get the IV, but she's like, honestly, it's kind of pointless. It gives you 15 minutes of relief and you can get it more after that, but honestly it's not going to do anything after the first hit. And I was like, okay. I didn't even want the IV, but I'm like, at least it's there as safety if I need a rest, because one of my madrina had told me that basically the epidural helps you rest. You know, like, yes, it numbs you, but in reality it's to help you rest, to get ready to push out the baby. So I was like, okay, if I need to rest, I will take the IV. I have no clue what time it was when I took the IV, but I was getting bad contractions obviously they're bad, but I was on all fours and I was shaking. They were so bad, and exactly how they describe it is how it is. Like, it hurt, it starts, you feel it coming, you reach the peak, and once you know when the peak is, and then it just falls back down, and then you get relief, like complete relief. And those little moments of relief is where you have to like just fully like take advantage of it and just rest. You gotta remember that it's all down there, you know. So yeah, I got to a point where in my head I was like, oh my gosh, I am suffering. And all this just because I don't want to take the freaking epidural. Like, let me just take it. I was like, no, because I'll regret it. And like I said, there's nothing wrong with it. This is completely personal preference, personal choice. My mom, my aunt, so many people I know got the epidural. There's nothing wrong with it. But yeah, so I then took the IV because I was like, okay, well, I just need a rest, because and maybe it was like, no, I took the IV at 12. I was waiting till 12 because I remember I kept asking Alex, what time is it, what time is it? He's like, it's 11:50 something. I was like, I'm taking the IV at 12 so I can get a few minutes of rest. I called the nurse in and I got the IV, and that all it did, and like she told me that the IV is gonna make you really sleepy and like feel like really druggy. She's like, if you fall asleep it's completely fine, you should try napping. I cannot nap, but yeah, the second they pump it in, it's just like this, like you're all it does is mute the pain because you're still going through it, but you're so like sleepy. All I remember is it felt like I was in a dream. Like I know I was moaning, I was like by the way, I was making so many noises, and I'm sorry I'm talking so fast, but whenever I had the IV, I was literally just like like that. And exactly what she said, it was 15 minutes of like numbness. After that it's right back to it, but those 15 minutes helped me out so much because I feel like I restore myself. And also another thing, God helped me through this. I don't know how I could have got through it without him. You guys, it's incredible. Just saying, like, honestly, he's the one who made it happen. But yeah, I took the IV, and after the IV, I say around, cause she came out at, it was like 1, at 1, yeah, I think like at 1, maybe 1, almost 2, no, it had to have been 1 or 2, I don't know, but at some point I dilated to 9, either at 1 something or 2, but I dilated to 9. And once I hit 9, by the way, I'm not even talking about the pain, but the pain was bad. I'll talk about the pain in the end. But I got to 9, and when I hit 9 and I was like, I was out of it. I was so exhausted. But when I hit 9 centimeters dilated and the nurse started getting her little station ready, that is what motivated me so freaking much. I was like, okay, she's coming. That is when I just like got a full burst of energy, because I was like, okay, all right, you are now pushing for your prize. And after that I started getting, I never knew what like people meant when they had the urge to push, but oh my gosh, first of all, whenever I was going through my contractions, I don't know if this is how you breathe, but this is how I breathe. I was like that's just how I remember that I was breathing to get through the contractions. I breathed like that. And then whenever I had the urge to push, it's so freaking weird. Like, it literally, they were telling me not to push because my cervix hadn't broken yet, apparently. I was at 9, my cervix hadn't broken yet. She's like, do not push. She's like, because I remember I had the urge to push, and I pushed a little bit because I had to, and it hurt so bad, and a bunch of liquid came out. And then I told the nurse, she's like, do not push right now. She's like, because you'll break your cervix, yeah, you'll tear your cervix and something something. And I was like, what happens if I tear my cervix? She's like, you're gonna bleed a lot. And I was like, okay, okay, okay. So I try my best not to push, but oh my gosh, whenever you get the urge to push, my whole body, I don't know why, but my head would always pop back. I would be like, ugh. I was screaming all types of, I never thought I would scream or make noises like that, but I feel bad for the doctors and for Alex for the fact that he had to see me through that. He's like, your vein was popping. He's like, I had never seen like you ever, I guess, do that much force. But yeah, and I feel so bad because whenever I was, like I said, I was going through it, and Alex would be like, oh, I would be like, shh, shh. I would just be like, I can't, because I couldn't talk. I was silent. I would barely, whenever I would talk, I was so out of breath. I was like, I was so out of breath. But I apologized to him afterwards because I was like, I'm so sorry. I know you were just trying to help. Like, he would be like, alright, like, let's do this, blah, blah, blah. He would be like, let's do this, and I'd be like, shh, like, stop, don't talk, like, it's okay. Sorry, baby duties call. I apologize if it's all over the place. I have been taking lots of breaks. But alright, so yeah, I was talking about how I had the urge to push, and when you get that urge, like I said, it makes you freaking cock your head back. It was bad. Okay, so it's like, I don't know the boundaries, like I don't know what I should talk about the pain, what I shouldn't, and I don't know. So if you want a more in-depth video, just ask me questions. I'll have a Q&A. But yeah, you know. So yeah, basically that happened, and then it was just a waiting game. No, she was like, just wait till you're 10. And then I remember I was going through them, and I started getting that urge to push way more, and it's impossible not to push. Like, your body makes you push. It just happens. Like, it's so hard to not do it. And I remember I came to one point where I was like, I can't, like, I have to push, I have to. I was like, Alex, tell the nurse, I'm like, I have to push, there's no way I can hold it in. So she comes, they check my cervix one last time as I'm going through these contractions, let me tell you. They go in there and they're like, okay, you're 10, you're ready to go. But they had to wait on the doctor. They're like, just wait on the doctor, just wait on the doctor. I swear, waiting on her, and obviously it's not her fault, she's handling other things. Waiting for her felt like I waited an hour. Obviously I didn't. It was maybe not even like 10 minutes, I believe, but it felt like forever. So I was just waiting on her. The second she came in, I kind of started pushing. I was like, I'm so happy I did not record. I don't want to go through that. Pushed, I think I pushed like 10 to 15 minutes. It honestly wasn't long. When I started to push, I basically did maybe like 4 good big pushes, because I did the first one, the second one. Okay, so you know how you're supposed to push when you're contracting? So like I said, I think I did like 4 big pushes. She came out on the 4th one. When it came time for that last push, a contraction did not come. Like, it was nowhere in sight. I remember I was just sitting there like waiting, like, okay, like, this is the last one, this is her to come out. I didn't feel one come out. I just pushed. I was like, no, I'm not waiting, and I pushed. When I tell you I felt everything, I felt exactly how she came out, exactly where I ripped, everything. So yeah, but yeah, at 2:52 I was blessed, and beautiful Kylie came out into this world blessed, beautiful, and healthy, gracias a Dios. So yeah, that is basically it. Again, I'm sorry, I'm not the best storyteller. Everything was all over the place. I had to take a lot of baby breaks. But yeah, so let's go into talking a little bit about the pain. So everything was a very good, very bearable. from the time that my water broke till they actually broke it, which is from 10, 11 to, what time was it when they broke it? 9. I think they broke it at 9. So yeah, everything was good then. Once they broke my water, the contractions, they were in the beginning they were like a 5, and the worst ones were definitely a 9. I would say 10, but like they were a 9, because like I said, and like I tell everyone, it was very, very bad. And like, no, I wouldn't want anyone to go through that pain, but obviously we have to. So it was bearable. Like, I was going through it, but I knew I was gonna be okay, basically. And those rests really, really help in between the contractions. Actually pushing hurt like crazy. But what's crazy is that the rest in between pushing, those 4, technically 3 rests in between your pushing, is the most relief you ever get, I swear. Because you're pushing really, really hard, but the second you let go, it's like nothing's wrong with you. But then of course you get your contraction again. But whenever I had her, I had a 2nd-degree tear here. And then I had a tear in my right labia. I'm sorry if that's TMI, but I'm just letting you know in case anybody else can relate. I swear to you, I felt those tears when she came out. She came out this way, like this is her head, this is her body. My camera died, so I'm gonna use my phone for a bit. But yeah, I swear whenever she came out, I felt every single thing. And yeah, I don't know. I don't even know what to say about the pain. But was there a point where I wanted the epidural? Yes, I was sitting there on all 4s, shaking away, and I said, all this just because you don't want to take it, when you could just take it and be completely blissful. But I was like, no. And I'm pretty sure at that point it was already too late. But yeah. But if you guys don't want the epidural, the IV's there. It's nothing compared to the epidural, I'm sure, because like I said, it gave me 15 minutes of just like numbness, of basically like bearable pain, and then it was right back to it. But it definitely did help me rest up and catch my breath, my energy to continue on the night. So I think that's pretty much it. I know for a fact I'm forgetting things, so I apologize, but I'll probably do a Q&A. That way I can answer your questions, things you want to know, because there's so many questions I had that I have answers now because I went through it. So yeah, and comment down below if you've had a baby or if you're pregnant, and if you used the epidural or if you didn't, and your experience, because I know it will help out a lot of other moms. The reason I didn't want to do it is just because, one, I always like wanted a natural, like full natural birth. 2, I'm scared as crap of that big gigantic needle. I watched a video on how they do it and I was like, I got enough back problems, I'm not adding to the mix. So yeah, that was basically my reasoning. But if I everybody was like, you might get it, you're gonna get it. And I said, if I end up getting it, I'm not gonna beat myself over it, you know, it's all good. Actually, one of the nurses, I completely forgot to mention this, that was working there, that took some of my blood in the hospital, was a friend of mine, Epidural. It was so nice seeing her, and even she told me she didn't use it, but she's like, if you use it, it's completely okay, there's nothing wrong with it. And I was like, thank you. But another thing I really liked, the nurses were really cool. Whenever I told them that I wasn't taking the epidural, they never forced it upon me, or they were never like offering it, because like I said, I was screaming and doing all sorts of things, and all they would say, do you need anything? No. And then she said, all right, if you need anything, just let me know. But they were never like, hey, epidural's here, epidural's here, epidural's here. Like I've heard other people say that they say they don't want it, and the nurses consistently offer it to them, like, hey, you don't have to suffer. So yeah, my nurses were really, really cool. My doctor was really, really nice, and they helped me deliver very nicely. So yeah, I am done rambling. If you want to know anything else, ask it down below. I will be reading the comments and answering. And if you have any questions, follow me on Instagram, because I will be doing a Q&A, so you can go ahead and ask your questions there, or ask them down below and I will include it in the video. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I do apologize if I didn't go too much into detail, but like I said, if you want to know anything, I'll let you guys ask me. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. If you stayed all the way to the end of the video, you're gonna get to see a little clip of baby girl. Let me go get her. She's about to be fed. So thank you guys. See you in a bit. This is my baby girl. This is my little Kaeli. Say hi, mamas. Oh my goodness. Say hi, mamas. This is Kaeli Victoria. Not Kaylee. It's Kaeli. Just saying.
Kaylee is acceptable.
Kaylee is not acceptable.
Wait, that's what you
Look at this pretty girl. Look at this pretty girl. Bye.